From this, to this, to this. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to paint your own material textures for your 3D primitives. And in this case, we'll learn how to make sparkly anime eyes. Hi, I'm Starry, and for this process, we're going to start with the Polygon tool in the Material Primitives category. If you need to open your materials, go into Window and go down into Material, then open Material Primitive. From here, we're going to select the Polygon tool. Click it and drag it onto your canvas. Now what we want to do is click this little wrench to open the object list. Then from the Subtool Detail window, go to the Primitive option, and where it says Number of Divisions, we want to increase them to smooth out our shape. I'm going to create a character with green eyes this time, so let's choose a color for our primitive. And click OK. With my Operations tool, I now have my root manipulator available, and I can adjust the size and shape of my material. So if I grab this top cube and I drag it upwards, I can create a shape that looks more oval. I think it might need a couple more divisions, so let's go ahead and increase that. So now what we're going to do is export the UV texture map. Simply go to Export in the Subtool Detail under Primitive and save your file. Then simply open the texture map you just made. And in your layer palette, you'll see that there's the background color we chose, an empty texture layer, and the UV map. If we don't turn off the UV map, when we save it out, those divisions will be visible on the model, so be sure to turn it off when you're ready to save it out. From here, you can simply paint the eye as you like, and I'm going to start with a slightly darker color around the iris, and anything outside of the UV map won't be on the 3D material, so don't worry about going over the lines. At the top of the eyeball, there's always a shadow from the eyelid, so I like to include that in my paint. And you can get a little bit more precise around the edges if you like. Alternatively, you can use an ellipse, and if you go into the subtool for the ellipse, you can select Start from Center, so that when you're creating your circle, you can just drag it out from the center. Then you can use a blur tool to blur it out. I like to use the Painterly blender and the blur tool together to get a more natural look. And also you can drag the shape of the iris toward the center. Which also gives it more of that natural eye look. Once I've established where the iris is, I can turn off my UV map so it's easier to work. And I'll also use my fingertip blender to drag some of these areas. And then just go back in with my blur tool and keep refining it a little bit. Now keep in mind you can add extra layers, and you can use clipping masks and all of your blending modes in your UV texture map. So let's go ahead and create a multiply layer, and I'll use my airbrush to continue to add some more tones to my eyeball. Let's go ahead and use our lasso fill tool to play around with some colors as well. Now let's change this to an add glow layer. And I'm going to go back in with my kneaded eraser and pull some of the edges, and then I'll go back in with my blenders. I'm going to lower the opacity on that layer a little bit. Now I'm going to go in with a decoration layer. And I'm also going to use the Add Glow feature. This time, I'm going to play around with a lighter blue color and see how that looks. Let's start with the glitter. And we'll go back in with a nice bright green color. And even a sparkle. I really love the Clip Studio Paint default sparkle brush. I think it's really nice. You can always change the particle size like I'm doing to have some nice variation. Now we can go back in with our ellipse tool and make sure that it is a Create Fill ellipse. And we'll find a nice dark color. And on our new layer with multiply mode selected, we're going to click and then hold Alt on our keyboard and drag out our iris. Then click again to confirm it. And if we want to adjust the shape of our iris, we can always just use the transform feature, Control T on your keyboard. Let's make it a little bit more of an oval. Now what I'm going to do is contain all of my painted layers in a folder. Then above it, I'm going to create a clip layer. By clicking this icon with the squares, I'm going to create a clip layer. And I'm just going to add some more detail to my eye. On another layer, with the clipping mode enabled, I'm going to create an overlay layer, and I'm going to bring in some other colors. If you want to add even more sparkles, you can add an additional clip layer and choose a very close to white color. And with your pen, you can just draw in some extra details. You want to think about the inside of a marble when you're designing an eye like this. So just think about how glass refracts and warps the stained color within. We'll be creating a second polygon for the eye shine, so don't worry. Alright, so now that we've established our eye, let's go ahead and save it. And then back on our polygon, let's use our operation tool to select it. Use the wrench icon to bring up our subtool detail window. Go into primitive, and then click on this box next to texture and select the map that you created. And just like that, we have a beautiful anime eye that we can use over and over again. So on the same layer as our polygon, let's go ahead and create another one. I'm going to increase the number of divisions just like before. Give it a color of white, of course, because we are creating our eye shine. Let's move it in front of the eye a little bit. And using this gray outer ring, we can shrink the eye shine. Let's make it a little bit more of an oval by dragging this up. And then we can use these directional arrows to move the eye shine. Back in your object display list, under primitive, uncheck show wireframe so it looks a little nicer. Make it a bit smaller too. Then we want to make sure that the shadow from the eye shine is cast on the model behind it, so change this to cast on 3D models only. Now you can see that it's casting a shadow on the other model. You can adjust where the light source is coming from by clicking on this sphere. It gives a really nice effect on the eye. I'm going to make mine just a little smaller, and I'm actually going to bring it just a little closer to the eye as well. The benefit of doing this in 3D is that you have the benefit of camera angles. So you can create an eye from a variety of different angles. Now when you're done creating your eye, make sure you save it by going into the object launcher and selecting Save 3D Primitive. And give it a name. And then save it into your 3D folder. You'll need to save the eye shine separately. And as I showed you in the intro, you can paint around the eye. So in this case, I created an animation with my 3D eye. You can use it as a layer and then paint above and below it. So you can see that I have a skin layer here, and then above my primitive, I also have my eyelashes, and I can animate that 3D primitive. And because the eye shine is separate, I can move it independently of the eye. It maintains quality when resizing really nicely. Now, one drawback is that it is more intensive on your computer than, say, a PNG, but it's such a nice alternative. And I'm sure that for my more experienced 3D users, that you can come up with some really beautiful ways to use this technique. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was helpful and gave you some creative ideas on how you can use 3D primitives in your workflow. Be sure to check out my tutorial playlists, and please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again soon!